The night of December 16, 1773, is etched in American memory as the Boston Tea Party, a singular act of defiance that would echo through history and ignite a revolution. Beneath the surface of that chilly evening, however, lie stories often left untold, tales of ordinary people, unsung heroes, and the subtle currents that shaped a nation's path to independence. Long before the first chest of tea splashed into Boston Harbor, the city was simmering with unrest. British taxes had become a daily grievance, and the passage of the Tea Act felt like the final insult. But while the images of disguised men dumping tea are familiar, the planning behind the event was anything but spontaneous. In the dimly lit rooms of Boston's Old South Meeting House, voices both famous and unknown debated the course of action. Among them was not just Samuel Adams or John Hancock, but shopkeepers, apprentices, and even laborers whose names have faded from the record. It was here that unity was forged, not just among the elite, but across lines of class and trade. One of the untold stories is that of George Robert Twelves Hughes, a humble shoemaker with little to his name. Hughes, neither wealthy nor politically powerful, nevertheless found himself among the ranks of the Sons of Liberty. Donning a makeshift disguise, he joined the Midnight Raiders. For him, and many like him, the act was not only about protest, but about claiming a place in the unfolding drama of liberty. Years later, Hughes would recount that, as he helped heave the heavy tea chests overboard, it was not just the tea, but the weight of injustice that felt lighter. There are also stories of the women of Boston, whose roles are often lost in the shadows of history. As the boycott of British tea grew, it was women who bore the brunt of sacrifice. They brewed herbal liberty teas from raspberry leaves, sage, and other local plants, turning their kitchens into battlegrounds of resistance. Women like Sarah Bradley Fulton, sometimes called the mother of the Boston Tea Party, played crucial roles in organizing, warning, and even disguising the men who would take part in the raid. Their silent strength and ingenuity fueled the movement from behind the scenes. Not all the tales are of unity, however. Some merchants, loyal to the crown or simply fearful of reprisal, struggled with the growing radicalism. John Singleton Copley, the famed painter, pleaded for dialogue and compromise. His father-in-law, Richard Clark, was one of the consignees of the tea, his warehouse the target of protesters. In the days leading up to the Tea Party, their homes were besieged by crowds demanding the tea be sent back to Britain. The tension tore at families and friendships, revealing the complex tapestry of loyalties within the city. As dawn broke over Boston Harbor, the aftermath of the Tea Party was not just floating leaves on water. It was uncertainty, hope, and fear. British authorities responded with the coercive acts, shutting Boston's port and tightening their grip. Yet, in the colonies, the news spread like wildfire, carried by riders and whispered in taverns. The act of rebellion in Boston inspired solidarity from Charleston to Philadelphia, as communities sent aid to the besieged city. The Boston Tea Party was more than an act of vandalism. It was a carefully orchestrated statement, rooted in collective action and personal risk. Its true legacy lies not just in the famous names, but in the countless ordinary people who risked livelihoods in safety for a cause they believed in. Their untold stories remind us that history is shaped by many hands, and that even the smallest acts of courage can change the course of nations.